My name is Aaron Cole. I was 43 years old when I died, 37,000 feet above the Atlantic Ocean, with 206 people trusting me to keep them alive. I didn't die in a hospital. I didn't die in my sleep. I died in the left seat of a commercial jet while the autopilot was engaged, and my hands were still on the controls. And before my body went cold, before the cockpit alarms even finished screaming, I met Jesus Christ. Not the version I had mocked, not the symbol I thought belonged to weak people, but the living, unmistakable Jesus who spoke my name before I ever told him who I was. And he showed me the one sign that comes before sudden death, a sign I had ignored my entire life. The first thing I remember was the pain. It wasn't dramatic at first, no movie style clutching my chest. It was a pressure, deep, crushing, like someone had wrapped a steel band around my ribs and started tightening it one click at a time. We were cruising, smooth air, clear skies. My co-pilot was talking about his kids. I remember thinking how calm everything felt, how ordinary. Then my vision dimmed. The cockpit lights blurred at the edges. My headset felt heavy. My tongue went numb. I tried to speak. Nothing came out. I remember thinking, this can't be happening. I'm too young. I run marathons. I passed my medical. I reached for the intercom. My hand missed it. The pressure exploded. And then the fear hit. Not spiritual fear, not philosophical fear, animal fear. The kind that grabs you by the throat when your body realizes it's losing the fight. My heart went into chaos. I could feel it misfiring, slamming, stalling. My breath shortened. Each inhale felt like it was only reaching halfway down my lungs. The alarm started. I heard my co-pilot yelling my name, and then I was gone. I didn't fade out. I separated. 1 second I was in my body, drowning in pain and panic, and the next second I was above it, looking down at myself slumped in the seat. The transition was instant, clean, terrifyingly clear. I saw my hands still resting near the controls. I saw my mouth hanging open slightly. I saw the exact shade of gray my skin had turned. But what shocked me wasn't seeing my body. It was how awake I felt. My thoughts were sharp, faster than they had ever been. I wasn't drifting. I wasn't dreaming. If anything, I felt more alive than I had ever had in the cockpit. Time didn't behave the way it should have. Everything was happening at once, and yet slowly. I could hear my co-pilot yelling for help. I could hear the cabin crew being called. I could hear the engines humming steadily, unaware their captain was dead. I remember thinking, this isn't how it's supposed to go. Because I had beliefs. I wasn't Christian. I wasn't atheist either. I was disciplined, spiritual, structured. I believed in effort, in balance, in mastery of the self. I believed that if there was anything beyond death, it would be calm, neutral, impersonal. I believed I would dissolve into light or awareness, no judgment, no personhood, no authority. That's not what happened. The darkness came first. Not evil darkness, not fear-filled darkness, but absence, like being suspended in a vast, silent space where nothing touched you and nothing reflected you back. And for the first time in my life, I felt something I had never allowed myself to feel. Helplessness. No techniques, no breathing exercises, no mental discipline. I couldn't do anything. And then the presence arrived. Not gradually, instantly. Light doesn't even describe it properly. It wasn't blinding, and it didn't come from a direction. It surrounded me and filled me at the same time. And with it came awareness. Not information, not knowledge, being known. Every thought I had ever hidden, every motive I had ever disguised, every quiet arrogance I had wrapped in humility, all seen, all understood. And yet I wasn't afraid, because with the exposure came love, pure, intelligent, intentional love, a love that didn't flatter me, but didn't crush me either. And then he spoke. Aaron. Not loudly, not softly, perfectly. The sound of my name didn't travel through space, it arrived inside me. I knew immediately who he was, not because someone told me, not because he announced himself, because my soul recognized him. Jesus. The same Jesus I had dismissed as cultural mythology, the same Jesus I believed was one path among many, the same Jesus I assumed represented religion, not reality. I tried to speak. I couldn't form words. I didn't need to. He already knew everything I wanted to say. I expected disappointment. What I felt was sorrow. Not his sorrow for himself, but sorrow for me. Not anger, grief. And then he showed me something. Not a movie, not a slideshow, my life. But not the way I remembered it. I saw every moment where I had trusted my discipline more than truth, every moment where I had believed effort could replace surrender. I saw myself teaching others to quiet their minds while ignoring the quiet knocking in my own heart. I saw the pride I had labeled enlightenment, and the most painful realization wasn't that I had done bad things, it was that I had done good things for the wrong reason. I had believed salvation was something to be earned, balanced, maintained. I believed if I worked hard enough, if I lived clean enough, if I mastered myself deeply enough, I would be worthy. Jesus didn't accuse me. He simply let me see. And in that seeing, I understood. I could never save myself. No one can. Not through effort, not through morality, not through spiritual achievement. And then he spoke again. You were preparing for death, but you were not prepared to die. That sentence shattered me, because it was true. I had trained my body, trained my mind, trained my will, but I had never surrendered my heart. I had trusted myself, and suddenly I understood the sign, the one sign that comes before sudden death. It's not illness, it's not age, it's not warning, it's misplaced trust. Trusting that tomorrow is guaranteed, trusting that effort is enough, trusting that truth can wait. I felt regret, but not the kind that drowns you, the kind that awakens you. And then Jesus did something I will never forget. He stepped closer. There was no physical movement, but the nearness changed everything. And he said, I know you, and I still want you. Not because of what I had done, but because of who he is. He showed me, without quoting words, without doctrine, that salvation is not a ladder. It's a gift. You don't climb to God. God comes to you. And for the first time in my existence, I stopped trying. I surrendered. And in that surrender, peace flooded me. Not calm, peace. The kind that holds weight. The kind that doesn't require maintenance. The kind that stays. And then he said, You're not finished. And the next moment was violence. I slammed back into my body, like being forced into a burning cage. Pain exploded everywhere at once. My lungs convulsed. My heart screamed back into rhythm. Hands were on me, voices shouting, shock paddles firing. I heard someone say, We've got him back. Back? I didn't want to come back, but I did. I woke up days later in a hospital bed, machines everywhere, my wife crying, doctors staring at charts like they were offended by my existence. They called it luck. I didn't argue. How do you explain eternity to people who still believe they control time? The aftermath cost me. I lost credibility, lost friendships, lost my career in the cockpit. Some people smiled politely and backed away slowly. Others told me I was hallucinating. I let them, because what I brought back with me didn't need defending. I started reading the Bible, not to prove anything, but because I was hungry. And for the first time, it wasn't effort, it was rest. My wife saw the change before anyone else. I wasn't striving anymore. I was listening. And now I speak, because silence would be disobedience. If you're listening to this and you feel that quiet pressure in your chest, not pain, but awareness, don't ignore it. If you think you have time, don't assume. Sudden death doesn't send invitations, and the sign isn't fear, it's confidence in yourself. If you're searching, you're not alone. I wasn't either, and he still found me, 37,000 feet in the air, when I finally stopped trying to save myself.